Hi, my name is Betsy, and if you're seeing this, it's for a reason. This is my first video, so if you're seeing this, there is no algorithm connected to this video. There is no specific audience. This is just finding you because it needs to. And you are awakening to the fact that there is lies upon lies upon lies on every single part of the infrastructures of this world, in everything that you've been taught in school, everything that you've been taught societally, how society works, how just everything works in the world, how the universe works, how everything is. You're questioning everything at this moment, and you don't know what is real and what's not. Or you're figuring out that what's real is not what you've been told. It's reality is stranger than fiction. So this is why we are connecting in this moment. Because you want the truth. You want the truth of this reality. And it's time for the truth of this reality to come to the masses. There are people in the world who know the truth of this reality, but it's not the majority of the people. And it's time that everyone knows the truth. We are living in better times than we have lived within the past 200, 300 years, 400 years, the last 2,000 years. We have had really, really, really bad times. But we are coming into better times. It might not seem like we are because of all the stuff that's being uncovered, but it's a much better time. A lot of humanity doesn't have to fight for their life to survive. A lot of humanity does not have to go to war with the country next door to survive. A lot of humanity doesn't get their towns pillaged and our word. And that is when colonization happened, and the witch hunts and the witch trials and so many things happened. Jesus wasn't the only one who remembered who he was during that time. He was just the most vocal. He was just the most vocal. He was the bravest. And what happened to him? He was killed. He was sacrificed, murdered by hordes of people who did not see him as them, who did not see him as a piece of them, a part of them. Because he said that you can be like me and greater. Oh no, that's blasphemy. Religion has done good, but so much evil in the world. We have destroyed so many people. We have destroyed so much land. Many civilizations, so much history, ridiculous amounts of history of who we actually are, where we actually come from, the past civilizations that have lived, that knew, that remembered. Erased, hidden, manipulated, changed for power. for power. Because those that were trying to get power remembered a little bit, just enough to know that these people are all me, and I want to be the leader of all these people. I want to rule over everything. I want to have everything I want, and they're all going to listen to me. Why? Because they are me. So if they don't remember, I'm just going to tell them. That's where kings and queens come from. Divine rule through blood. But they don't have that divine blood anymore. Why? Because they tainted it through constant toxic consummation. Constant abuse. Of the body of Christ. Of the body, the human body, the earth's body, the animal kingdom, the fruits of creation, all have been abused and overconsumed by these divine bloodlines. Yes, they once knew who they were, but that's long, long gone. They might have a remnant of memory because they've passed down the history, but they don't have their soul intact. They don't have that lineage anymore because they tainted it through their practices, because they kept practices that were toxic from ancient times of overconsumption and abuse. Why? Because they kept committing the original sin, and the original sin was overconsumption, and that overconsumption is rape. Raping of everything. The body, the spirit, first of all, the soul, and the body, and the earth, and the animals, the food, everything, the minerals, everything. Just look at what they're doing now. Raping. Everything. Everything. Luckily, we are coming out of the dark age. We are getting closer to the sun. We are getting closer back to the sun. And we're on a solar maximum. Isn't that awesome? People are remembering. People are waking up from the sleep, from the slumber, from the darkness, from the unconscious. Darkness is just the unconscious. We need to merge the consciousness of light and darkness, specifically war, fighting, self-destruction. Yeah, just in general, destruction of the self and of others. I guess you could call that the Antichrist consciousness. The destruction of self and others, because we are all one. We're all one body. Even if you are from another being, another angel, another deity, we are still one, because all the deities came from source. We are all a family. We are all part of the same lineage. We're all part of the same tree. The beings who mastered the darkness are the roots of the tree. of Yggdrasil. And the beings of light who've mastered the light are the beings that sprouted on the top of Yggdrasil, or the Kabbalah, or the Klipoff, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same. So, now that we have been caught up to where we are repeating a lot of mistakes from Atlantis and Babylon and Lemuria, Mu. We are repeating a lot of the mistakes. Like I said, we are raping the planet. We are doing it to each other, to everything. Overconsumption, consumerism is so toxic. So toxic. And then not just that, what they were doing in Mu and Atlantis, and it's like they were creating they were not just separating things to like its fundamental form, like with the Hadron Colliders, and destroying the fundamental parts of us. They were also over manipulating the elements and like things, and that's what we're doing right now with plastic. Plastic is the result of manipulation to an extreme form. Oil is already the natural form of these minerals during like a natural process where minerals and elements get transmuted into oil. Like they've already gone through the biggest transformation process. They've already gone through a very harsh transformation process, and turning it into plastic is not healthy. It is abusive to the minerals, to the earth, to literally every form of life that we have. It is a cancer on the earth. It is not going to help us in the long run. It's going to kill everything because it is a cancer. It is literally not helping the planet. It is destroying it. And we need to stop the production of it and build monuments to remember the toxicity of this type of synthetic over manipulation of nature, of ourselves. There's so many things, like sexually, relationship wise, like we're in a relationship with everything and everyone. What kind of relationship is your choice? That doesn't mean it's healthy on all fronts. And overconsumption is abuse. Whatever form of consumption you take, whether it's energy, whether it's things from other people, whether it's money from other people, whether it's acts of kindness from other people, whether it's consummation of your energies, sex wise, of other people, like literal consummation of people. That's the most toxic it can get. You're a zombie at that point. You have a mind virus at that point. Literal virus of the universe at that point. Antichrist consciousness. I prefer to call it a mind virus because it is a mind virus. Cancer cell within the universe, consuming your own self. That's where we are. And we're not at the worst point, but we are definitely at a point that needs to be addressed before it gets worse. I'm just gonna wrap things up because it's getting really long. But this is a lot of information. I do remember not a lot, but like a lot of things that are happening right now. And I have seen possible trajectories to where we can go, and it seems like we're going on a very, very specific trajectory. But the group of humans that want to hold power over the planet, that are toxic and over-consuming of everything and destroying of everything and self-destructive, that have a mind virus, that are trying to spread the mind virus because it's addictive, like consuming of matter, of darkness, of unconscious, can become addicting. So, yes, it's a mind virus. It's an illness, just like addiction is an illness. And yeah, these people just want to keep power over the planet, but we're getting closer to the sun. We're in a solar maximum. Their time is up. Everyone is going to remember. I'm not the only one that remembers. There's others that remember and have not said anything. Everyone will remember who they are, who we are. Whether you are the collective of the original human body or whether you are a starseed. So, what are we going to do about it? Because we are on a crossroads right now. And we are on a very specific trajectory that's going, no matter what, is going to go towards enlightenment and everyone awakening and remembering who we are. But we could go the hard way, or we could go the easy way, or we could go the fastest way. And the fastest way, with the least possible toxicity to the planet and to everyone, would be to expose everyone involved in crimes against humanity and the planet. And it doesn't matter if you were involved in these things. Majority of humanity does not want this type of consciousness on the planet. We don't want destruction. We don't want war. We don't want any kind of toxicity. We have matured enough to know certain things are not okay. We have learned enough from thousands of lives of mistakes, thousands of incarnations of making mistakes, of toxicity and darkness and war and famine and conquering and just so much evil and self-destruction. We have learned enough to know that we don't want it. And the only ones that do are the ones addicted to it. So we need to out everything. People need to confess, especially the people who are involved and don't want this kind of consciousness in the world. Especially the people who are placed in specific places within society where they can out these things. The faster we expose all the toxicity, the easier it will be for us to get rid of it permanently. And when that happens, then we will have a solar flash event, or rapture event, or endgame event, matrix, exiting the matrix, as you would like to call, graduation event. Why? Because our consciousness as a collective has finally overcome certain darkness. And we have all collectively decided, at least as a planet, to not have it anymore. It's a relationship that we have with each other. And as a collective, we are literally blocking, breaking up, leaving out, deleting, erasing, purging the things that don't serve us anymore. We are killing the virus within our body. Literally. Everything is just a reflection of ourselves. Everything. If you study health, if you study nature, it's all the same thing. We reflect the same thing. That's why they call it the tree of life. Because a tree is very, 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 is a very good mirror of what we are and what is going on in this universe. Yeah. But anyways, we need to do something about that. And I personally, just me, my person right here, just me, Betsy, would like for things to go as fast as possible, as peaceful as possible. So, yes, I know for a fact that stuff going on with Diddy is a collective thing that we have decided that is going to expose the corruption of the world, the toxicity of the world, the rotten part of the world. And we need to expose it. And that is the beginning of the exposure. There has been so much work done in the background for this to come to light. And it's going to expose everything. But we can make it go faster. If citizens and people involved expose more, report it to the masses. It doesn't have to be on trial. It just has to be exposed to the world, because the collective consciousness needs to know. Once you're aware of the darkness that has not given good fruit, that has not been in harmony with the rest of us, once we expose the unseen that has been hidden from us on purpose, just like cockroaches, they like to hide in the dark. when we expose it, we can get rid of it as a collective whole with the divine, not just humanity, but the whole body of the universe. Because what we're doing is very important. Very important. And these trials are very important. Exposing these people is very important. Everything will get exposed eventually, no matter what. But it could take years. And during that time, they can use their technology that they've been hiding from us to change timelines, to time travel and change things. And we're not going to know it. And those are Mandela effects. When you see things manipulated throughout time. Because they're messy. But we can also change timelines through our actions, through the natural way that actually affects things on a greater scale. Consciously. They're coming and doing things from an unconscious state. We can do things from a conscious state and affect our universe in a much grander scale. Exposing these people is very important. It's like finding a tumor before it spreads to the whole planet. I, for one, don't want to die with cancer. I don't want our planet to be destroyed. And we do have another asteroid coming our way in 2029. Apophis is an asteroid that comes from deep space with the collective consciousness of Apophis. And Apophis is destruction. So, technically, we have until then for everything to be exposed. But if we expose everything sooner, we will have the solar flash event, the judgment event. That can happen sooner if we expose the darkness, the toxic darkness, because not, like I said, not everything from the dark is evil. Those who have mastered the unconsciousness, they know how to deal with the unconscious in a healthy way. They know how to live in harmony with the universe in a healthy way without abusing it. The fruit in the Garden of Eden was not forbidden. It just was abused. Overconsumption. Consuming before you even knew what you were consuming. Eating of the fruit was supposed to come with maturity, and we did not have maturity. We were immature to the darkness. We were immature to this space. But we're not anymore. And we're not going to deal with no BS anymore. We're not going to deal with no abuse anymore. We're not going to deal with no raping of anything anymore. So, what are we going to do? I know for a fact that they're going to make an attack with their witches, with their warlocks, their covens, are going to make an attack on everything that is being targeted at them, I suggest we do the same thing and we pray, meditate, focus on exposing them, put it into the ether, put it out there, do spells to manifest the exposure of these people. If we do that, there's more of us than there is of them. Much more of us. And we can win. We can get everything done in a peaceful, faster manner. But yeah, we have until then, till Apophis comes back. Yeah, that's the end of my message.